My name is Kathy Picard. I'm from Ludlow, Massachusetts, and I am an advocate, an author, a law changer, and a survivor of sexual abuse. So I've gone out to speak to whoever I can to help because my mission is protecting children, as well as inspiring survivors to tell their story because they're not alone. And it's very important to let them know that they're not alone and it's not their fault. I'm honored to say that I was a huge part of changing the Massachusetts laws for both criminal and for civil statute of limitations. The criminal statute of limitations was changed in 2006, and the civil statute of limitations was changed in 2014. I had my day in court after the civil statute of limitations law was changed in 2014, giving survivors to the age of 53 years old to go forward to get justice and accountability for the abuse that they endured. It's important to change these laws because victims do not realize that they were sexually abused until later on in life. And it's important to let them know that they have that time to go forward because you know what? It is a form of murder. And you are actually murdering a child's innocence, so they deserve to get the justice that they can get and not have that ability because of the time frame. So in 2002, I got really angry and I wanted to do something about the abuse that I endured. And I called 1-800-DIAL-A-LAWYER, which still is in effect during October Domestic Violence Month. And when I called this number, they said, "Sorry, Kathy, there's nothing that can be done." And I was really upset about that. And that's what gave me the courage and the strength and determination to go forward to change these laws. So you really need to have no time frame for a survivor to be able to go forward. The outcome of my civil action, having my 4-day jury trial in federal court, was I won my case. And it was for civil, and it's not about the money because civil is monetary, but it's not about the money. It's about being able to have people know that my stepfather sexually abused me. To put that out in the newspapers and on the news and in social media is extremely important because we need to protect other kids from being harmed. Some of the resources that are out there, and there are many of them, there is Child Help, Speak Up, Be Safe. It's a particular curriculum that's for kids, kindergarten through 12th grade. There's Darkness to Light, that's educating adults. There's Backup, Bikers Against Child Abuse. There's the RAD program, Rape Aggression Defense. There are many resources out there that are available to both children, parents, and adults. And it wasn't there when I first started looking for resources, but you'd be amazed as to how many resources are out there to help prevent sexual abuse from happening. I wrote my own personal story, Life with My Idiot Family, a true story of survival, courage, and justice over childhood sexual abuse, which is this book right here. And it came out on Amazon in 2017. I wrote it along with my husband, Gary. And of course, it was very triggering, but very healing writing my story. So this book is also on Audible that I spoke, my husband spoke. Retired Police Chief Lou Berry, also who wrote the foreword of my book, did some speaking, but it's a great book. And my husband's actually writing a screenplay, so we're hoping to put it into a movie. And you never know, but it's a great resource. It talks about my childhood from when I was younger all the way up through the trial. And it's a good resource to have and to let other people know what a person goes through that's been sexually abused. I also wanted to write a children's book, which I did, and it's called I Love You So Much That. It's dedicated to Danny Croto and Molly Bish, and it's a great book. It's teaching kids the whys of why they should brush their teeth, eat their vegetables, not talk to strangers, that their private parts are private. And it's a book that I've been reading in schools and other organizations. And again, a great resource. My dog, Abby, is featured in the book. And when I go out and do the readings, she actually paw signs the book. So it's a good resource for the kids. The statistics are very alarming. 1 in every 4 girls before their 18th birthday, and for boys, because boys are sexually abused as well, For boys, 1 in every 6 boys before their 18th birthday will be a victim of sexual abuse. 93% of the perpetrators are known to the victim, and it's very alarming. These are teachers, priests, coaches, parents that are the abusers. It's not stranger danger. These are people that are known to the person, and that's why they keep quiet about it, because they think that they're not going to be believed if they tell the story. Like for me, for instance, my stepfather told me to keep quiet, don't tell, because you are going to get in trouble. Nobody's going to believe you, and your parents are going to get divorced. And you know what, Kathy? It's going to be your fault if we get divorced. And that's why I did keep quiet. My first telling was when I was 9 years old, and I told my Grammy, my mother's mother, and she told me, shh, Kathy, we don't talk about this. And I waited until the age of 28 for the next time that I told somebody, which was my Aunt Judy, who was the mother to me that I didn't have growing up. And my Aunt Judy was petrified of my stepfather, and she told me to promise her that I would not tell. And I kept that promise until she passed in 2000. So I didn't tell. But as soon as my Aunt Judy passed, my first stop was going to the police station, filing that report, because at that time I was still afraid of my stepfather coming after me with a gun. So I did tell, and I have not shut up since then. I've been out speaking. I tell everybody, my neighbors, my friends. And yes, I do get people to say, why does she still talk about it? Well, I talk about it because I know that it can help somebody, and I know that it can help people in your profession as well, to know that it's hard for people to tell. My advice to you is that your eye contact and your tone of voice is extremely important when you are in front of somebody that is a survivor of sexual abuse. Letting people know that you are there for them. If somebody says, I need to talk to you, it's very important to talk to them then, because you know what? If you walk away, that survivor later on is going to say, I forgot what I had to say, or it doesn't really matter. It's no big deal. It is a big deal because they chose you to tell their story to, and that's why you need to be there for them, because it's hard for a survivor to tell, and it's hard for a survivor to keep on telling until somebody believes them and gets them the help that they need. Why is my message so important for law enforcement? It's very important because my abuser, Louis Bonacani, was actually an auxiliary police officer. So as a survivor, as a young girl, I was very petrified, very afraid to go to the police station, because in my mind, I thought to myself, if I go to them, they're not going to believe me. They're going to believe him because he's one of them. So I was a very petrified, scared little girl to go to the police department. So that's why my message to you is extremely important, to let you know that as a survivor, we don't forget, and many cannot talk about it, but I am very honored to be able to talk about it and to share my story, and willing to share it in more detail at presentations to any of your audiences as needed.